Hello, everyone. Welcome back for another positive talk. This is a super special one because I'm bringing back my friend Jenner, who was episode number one, as well as several other episodes here in the positive space community. So, super excited to be bringing him back on because it's been a while. We've known us as well as taught us some important lessons. So, super excited about having him back on and experiencing. Hello.
Hey,
I love the lights.
thank you. Yeah, they're my little fairy lights from my mossy bedroom.
I love it. Perfect theme.
Thank you. Thank you very much for trying to create like a very I'll show you. You want to see my room real quick?
Yeah, I'd love to see it.
So these are my
Wow.
plants. And
So
then
Kevin would love that.
yeah, and then this is stuff that has to go home to my house for the holidays.
Love
And
it.
then this is like books and things.
Okay.
And this is my TV and where I play Xbox. And that's my room.
Love it.
Yeah. Yeah, fun stuff. So festive, so fun. Yeah, I love it. I love my room. It's a little cluttered and messy right now just with I had a Harry Potter trivia not too long ago, so I have a few boxes and things still left over from that. And then just some old clothes that don't fit that I need to donate and some gifts that I need to wrap. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. Hi, Michael. This is
Love it. Well, I know that I know who you are, and a lot of people on here know who you are, but I will still give you the opportunity to introduce yourself for those who may not know you, and then we can dive into a conversation.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So, for those who don't know, my name's Jenner. I'm 28 years old, live in Atlanta, Georgia. I own my own trivia business or entertainment business called Generally Entertainment. And I'm a struggling actor, if I can say so myself. I am, you know, a plant dad, a homosexual, and a Swiftie. And that's all of me.
And sometimes occasionally going around being Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, I'm also Peter Parker, but I try not to say that online because
Whoops, I outed you. Sorry.
you're fine.
Awesome. Well, I feel like we have both done a lot of moving around and doing lots of different things since our very first positive space or positive talk way back in 2020, which is insane. So, catch us up a little bit. You say you're owning your own business. That's new. And I know we've talked a little bit about that, but I would love to hear a little bit more about that because I think it's an amazing thing that you're doing.
So yeah, crazy. So I started working at this coffee shop near like, in Atlanta, and they were in a tight spot, and the trivia host who was there left unexpectedly. And, I want to be an actor. I'm an entertainer by heart. It's who I am. And so the I picked it up, I picked up trivia and I was really scared, really nervous. But it went really well. And through starting it, I realized that it's more of a it's more of a it's more hanging out. It's more of a fun time than a business. It's just like, hey, I'm going to come up here, make a fool of myself while asking some questions. And if you think I'm funny and you relate to me being a mess, because you're a mess, then it's going to be a good time. And with that, I have started a little following who have like there's something I hate more than saying following or fans because it's not following or fans. Like I've really become friends with a lot of these people. Like seeing them each week has become a just a like it's a need at this point. Like I love them. I love like if I see that there's a seat empty and I'm like I know who sits in that seat. I'm like, what's going on? Are you okay? You know, and if I find out something's not okay, then I'm like, you know, where everyone's signing a card or everyone's checking in, everyone's sending positive energy because we're like a little family, you know? So in doing so, it's become a business. Is it a business I can survive off of? Absolutely not. It is a hobby. It's a hobby that I'm still trying to make a business. But with the people who I have supporting me and the hard work that I put in each day, I can see it coming out on top eventually.
Yeah, I mean, I think the word you're looking for is community. You've built a community of people
That's it.
because that it sounds like you've got a group of people who share similar passions or interests, and you have developed like family relationships with these people. And I think that that's beautiful. And I mean, just from following your page that you've created for that business, I see the amount of work that you put into making it like amazing because I mean, you can have a trivia night for Harry Potter, but then you have it Jenner's way, and that that is a level of energy. I mean, doing each page, creating each quill, like that required a lot of effort on your part, and I think that that makes it special. And I think that people can definitely connect to you on that. And I mean, it's a beautiful creative outlet too, because acting is one way of showing the world your creativity, but like the work you put into your trivia nights are also another beautiful space of seeing how much effort you put into the things that you do.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate that. A lot of work, a lot of even the stuff I don't post, like because you know I have ADHD, so I will work hard on something, but I won't post about it. You know, I won't. That I don't know how people can be like, oh, I'm going to make this and hold a camera and record it and edit it and post it because my brain says I did it. Okay, how am I to do other things? Like I did it.
Yeah, I mean, being a content creator on top of doing things like I am constantly watching people's content and I'm like, they've got to have someone else filming for them because, or lots of expensive equipment holding cameras and angles where.
You would never think, like, you don't think about how do I question, how do I make everything? Oh, I see a lot of my trivia friends here. Hi, guys. How do I the words go away so I can see my face? You know
I
how?
think if you touch above like where I'm at, it will cause them to go away.
That's right. I was like clicking me, and I'm like, it's just making everything bigger. I don't. I know.
I love it. Most people are like trying to swipe him away and then they exit the live and have to come back in. So at least you didn't do that one yet.
Not today. But, but yeah, but like you were saying, very much. To have someone recording for you or to have those like there were so many things I wanted to do stop motion animation or stop motion, you know, I wanted to make it so cool where I was like, okay, the camera needs to be here and magic comes across and all this stuff, but it's like I can't hold the camera completely steady. I don't have a tripod that can do that. I you know I just and I was like, you know what, recording isn't for me, can't do it. So put the work in and post a picture. Look, it's here. So
I mean, it will come eventually. I think that it will grow into something like having the vision of what you want and then like doing what you can by yourself. Because, I mean, my journey of content creating and building a community and all of that, like slowly over time, I got better at things and figured things out and talked to more content creators to be like, how do you do that? So it's definitely a learning progress. And I mean, you're going to look back on the stuff where it was just like a simple picture and be like, I remember that day.
yeah. Oh, absolutely. And that's like put all the crafting aside, my favorite thing right now is Canva. I love Canva. The things that I've been able to do, like I make little video clips. Like I don't know if you saw my Toys for Tots video of like the train. I made a train roll across. The physics were there. The smoke was going this way, and then when the train stopped, the smoke was going this way. The toys fell. I was like so proud of this video, and I love Canva. It's my favorite thing.
Yeah. I mean, with the amount of things that are coming out now compared to the way it was when we first started creating content, because I mean, you've also had a YouTube channel and created content there. But I mean, with AI and the things that it's capable of now, it's becoming a lot easier for people to just be like, okay, this is what I want, and just say, AI, do it. And it'll be like, okay, here's everything you need.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. And I just like I have a love-hate relationship with AI because I think it is the key to the future. But just being an actor, and seeing what it has done to that community and then seeing like having artist friends and seeing what it's doing there, it's so it's very, like I said, love-hate because I hate, but I also see where it can be necessary at times. So it's a little crazy.
Yeah, it's all about grabbing hold to it and using it as a resource, because I've learned that artists and stuff are still able to use it in a way to like enhance their creativity, whereas people that don't have that ability to think creatively don't create the same results. Like you have to have some type of like tech savviness or willing to use it as a way, because I mean, Canva is something that a standard person, yes, they can create a simple post, but when you've kind of got that ability to create a vision in your mind, you can look at those resources and be like, oh, I'm going to make something amazing. Whereas someone else is like, can someone else make this amazing? Because I don't have that.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. 100%. I will tell you, Canva, love it to death, but from where I started to where I am now, took a lot of trial by fire. And now I'm to the point where I'm mad at Canva because I'm like, Canva, let me do this. Like, I'll have this vision, and I'm like, I know that this should be able to happen. And they're like, I don't think so. I don't think so. And I'm like, I know so. Come on.
Yeah, usually when I've got a vision, it usually goes through the process of multiple programs or multiple apps, because I'm like, I know that this one can create smoke. I know that this one can do like the zoom thing I need. It's like just kind of processing. I know that the quality of it starts falling apart once you do that. But if I want something done, I will figure it out, and like, what apps do I need to download to get the finished product the way I want it?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, for sure, for sure. And that's like my big thing right now is I make it on Canva, download it, upload it to TikTok, edit it with TikTok stuff, and then download it. And then Instagram. It's like, okay.
See, you've mastered it. You figured out the process. You just have to do it so many different ways.
Exactly. Amen. Amen.
So when it comes to, I don't think last time we did a live, you were in Atlanta. I think you were still in Maryland at the time, I believe.
I was home because my Wi-Fi was terrible and I couldn't because I live in the middle of the woods.
So let's talk a little bit about that journey, because I feel like you've kind of done what some people really wish that they could do. You've gotten to kind of throw yourself into the realm of things that you are passionate about. I know that you said that you're an actor and kind of were like, oh, but you got to do a little bit of that stuff. And tell us a little bit about that, because I know a lot of people think Hollywood, they think going to Broadway, but Atlanta is also a hot spot for that type of stuff.
Yeah, so first of all, for anyone who watches this that is an aspiring actor from a small town, I want to be the first to tell you, and hopefully it sticks. It is not like they show in the movies. You are not going to move to a big city. It doesn't matter if you're the best, like, it doesn't matter if you're the best actor in your small town. When you go to a big city, it's 100, more than 100. It's like 40,000 best people from their small towns, and you have to be better than them. So you don't just get, it's not like they say you come in, you go to a Starbucks and you bump into you look the part, and next thing you know, you're Tom Holland. So you don't, like, it's not that easy. So that being said, I was under this delusional impression that I was going to come to Atlanta and be a Netflix superstar within the first year. And well, that didn't happen. And why? I mean, other than the obvious reasons of I don't live in Fantasyland, but when I moved here, whenever you move to a new place, it takes about a year to even feel comfortable to leave your house and start experiencing what the city has to give. It takes about a year to make maybe one connection that can even let you know, like get a scent of the film industry. It takes about a year to figure out where your finances are after moving and getting a job and sticking with that job. So then in the first year it was just me becoming comfortable with my surroundings, and then it was like the end of my first year, I got invited on a film set, working COVID. So basically, my job was to make sure that people were wearing their masks or staying 6 feet apart. And because I was able to do that, I met several other people that I was able to make connections with, which then moved me to working behind the scenes on what's called Crafty. And for those who don't know, Crafty is just like they're the snack service. They're there from open to close, that while you're filming, they have snacks, drinks, beverages, coffees, the whole 9 yards. They kind of keep your energy up through the day. And I also got onto costumes, and I also got onto stagehands, and things like that. So I was able to work behind the scenes, which not many actors get to do, which allowed me to learn, okay, don't act like this actor. Don't yourself. Like there's so many actors that I've met now that I'm like, oh, you're trash human. Got it. Uh, I learned don't be in the way, like, or and what's like languages mean, like if someone, I mean, these are obvious, but if someone says cut, that means you're not rolling anymore, but until you hear the word cut, you keep going, or if someone says rolling, everyone needs to shut up. And if you're not in character and ready to go, you're not doing your job. So I kind of had that. Well, then I started going to some acting classes with an amazing acting school called Drama Inc. And it was truly amazing. But then your boy uh, was broke, and acting classes are expensive, so I had to unfortunately let that go aside. And then during that time, I did a few student films because I'm right near SCAD, Georgia Tech, Georgia State. Like there's so many colleges within this small town. And so I was able to do several different college films, which was nice. But then the strike hit. And so when the strike hit, which lasted forever, once the strike hit, that kind of shut everybody down. And so now that the strike's over, hopefully at the beginning of the year, we'll come back and be ready to get back to work to where I can save the money and go to the acting classes and get an acting job. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of as far as I'm at and what it's like moving to a big city as a struggling actor. Did I answer your question? Or, yeah.
I love it. I love that it's like real and not just like the pretty picture that a lot of people can paint, because I've done a lot of positive talks with people where it's just like, hey, I mean, my friend Sam up in New York, he's pursuing the acting career as well, but then created Pride Fit because during COVID, fitness became a very important thing to him. He created a community around it, very similar to what you're doing with trivia. And it's like sometimes you just have to find community and make connections and kind of navigate that realm and just keep that passion at the front and just be like, you know what, like this is where I'm still at passion wise. And but don't make it to where you're like miserable chasing that passion to where like every time you show up somewhere it's like this person is drained of life because they're not happy. I think it's really important. Like one of the things that I decided with my coaching that I was really focused on is networking and community, because I always think, because I'm going through the Jay Shetty coaching program to like get certified through his program, and one of the biggest takeaways I've gotten is the community. Like to connect with other coaches, it's phenomenal because a lot of times you don't realize how many things you go through that the people around you don't understand, where you may need that support. You may need that extra, like, you got this, or have you tried this? Because, I mean, for me, I would not be able to give you that, hey, have you tried this for acting? Because that's not my realm. I can be a loving, supporting friend and be like, you got this. But when it comes to like sitting down and coming up with ideas, it's always kind of nice to have a community that understands the mountains and things you have to climb to get to the goal you want to get to.
And that's like, and that's what people don't understand too. In the creative industry, there's a lot of people with ADHD, a lot of and I'm on TikTok and I see people have this like it's not more often than not you see the funny sides of ADHD. Every
Mhm.
once in a while you might get a video of like what it's like having ADHD, and it is like my problem is, um, I have the want, I have the need to want to be an actor, but then, and like the reason I'm talking about this is because um, you had said you can be there for support, and I just want to be real with everyone. Like when it comes to wanting to be an actor, or any kind of starting your own business or any kind of creative way, you need to know how to work with your ADHD and work with any other mental illness you have to make it happen. Because people like ADHD is all fun and games, but for me, I'll sit here and I'll be like, okay, I have this great idea. I want it to work. I know that it's creative. I know I can do it. And then my body just won't want to do it, you know? So if you're a creative person with ADHD and you're like, okay, I want to take the next step to do my creative goal, the first step you should take is taking care of your mental health. And if you think you have ADHD, you need to go and talk to someone, because you can, I mean, I'm not saying it's not possible, but it's much harder to be creative and to make it happen when you're constantly fighting yourself and your own brain, to make it happen when you already have to fight everything else in the world that's against you. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Oh,
I think that that's a beautiful message for people, because it's like an added piece to the puzzle that just makes things a lot harder if you're struggling and combating with your own mental health on top of what is already a very hard goal to achieve. If it was an easy goal, there'd be a lot more people acting than there is. But I think that it's also really important to do that self reflection and be aware of the things that are negatively impacting your steps towards your goal. Because once you gain that self awareness, then you can start adding extra steps that kind of help you along the way. Because I started working with my own coach and then hired another coach and bought a program because I have a million ideas and I wasn't putting any of them forward. I was trying things, and I'm sure all my positive space leaders can attest to this. Like, I wanted to do so much, but when it came to like putting it in order, I didn't have that ability because I was already thinking 50 steps ahead. And it took me pulling myself back and being like, okay, what can I do right now? And it took a team, it took effort, it took people. And I mean, the funny thing is, all the things I tried in 2023 that took small steps forward really lined up in a big way for 2024 and what I'm planning on doing there, because I learned so much on that journey where I didn't feel like it was going at the speed I wanted it to go, but I was able to pull all of that back and be like, what did I learn from this? Do some self reflection because I mean, I've even reached out to you where I saw something that you were doing and I was like, that's amazing. I want to do something like that, because what I was hoping people would feel with what I was providing wasn't happening. And then I was like, well, what are some, because I wanted to create a space for people to network. But then even the thought of me going to someone else's space that was created for networking, I had anxiety about. And I was like, well, why am I creating a space? And I'm like, oh, well, I'm creating it because I'm more comfortable in a space that I've created myself. But I'm terrified to go to a space where I'm the only person I know and I have to meet 100 new strangers all at once. And I was like, why do I expect others to have a more positive feeling about showing up to mine when I myself will tell you it gives me tons of anxiety to show up somewhere where I know no one. So I
Oh,
was like, got to recreate that. So I think what you're doing with trivia is kind of a space where you've found a passion, you found something that excites people and attaches to an emotion. And it's like you're creating a space that people are excited to show up to. Whereas I was creating a space that I knew people would gain benefits from, but caused a lot of anxiety when people were going to show up. And I was like, ooh, that's not what I want.
yeah, I see that. I see that. But you've since adjusted, yes? Like you've brought it to a different point, yeah?
Yeah, so 2024 is going to be very interesting because it's a different focus, and I'm excited about it because I think what I was not connecting was I already am doing really well in certain areas, and I kind of was trying to recreate the wheel somewhere else. And when I started working with my coach, she was just like, I mean, positive talk. I'm like, what are you talking about? That's something completely separate. And I'm like, I never connected any dots with positive talk being anything other than what it is currently. So moving forward, positive talk will become something a little different that I'm excited about, but still working on and putting all the positive energy into that project so that when it does come about in 2024, it's going to be something that aligns with why people come to positive talk in the first place, to listen to me talk to all these fun people that I bring on.
Yes. Awesome. Well, that's good. That's good. I'm glad that that's starting to work out for you and you got a plan there. That's good.
Yeah. It's funny because they always say like the thing that you're most scared to do or the thing that you're so resistant to do is probably the one thing that will take you to where you want to go. And I'm like, oh, it's so true. And it's funny how even as a life coach, I will still play the game of resistant when it comes to doing the things I know I should be doing. So holding myself accountable created a space where now it's not just me as a coach. I'm surrounded by coaches. Not that I didn't have coach friends before, but now I've got like a whole plethora of them. So accountability will exist in the space for sure.
Yeah. Good. Good. That's my man right there. Way to go.
So when it comes to your 2024, I know that you've had your journey of your time in Atlanta through COVID, through a strike. What are some things that you're hoping to kind of bring back into existence now that that world is kind of opening back up?
Um, Good question. That's a great question. Because there's so many things. There's so many hopes, so many dreams that I want to take place. Um, I
I mean, Jared's already putting the messages that you've got a role in his movie, so you're set. You're set there.
I
You've
saw
already
that
been casted.
contacting you. But honestly, like right now, I am in a point where I'm like, okay, Jenner, it has been almost 3 years you've been in Atlanta. Okay, what have you done? Where are you at? What are you doing? And now that I've started this trivia business, I'm like, okay, if you're going to start this trivia business, you have to make that decision and go full force with the trivia business. You can't piddle foot around, and make it happen. But are you wanting to do trivia or are you wanting to do acting? You know? So in 2024, I am like, I will still be doing trivia on the side, but I have to remember I came to Atlanta for acting. And I am 2024 is going to bring the force with acting, um, because it's my dream, and I can't justify moving to Atlanta and saying, well, I moved to Atlanta and I started a trivia business. I love my trivia business. I love the community it's built, but 2024 is for me and it's for my acting career, you know? So
Mhm.
trivia will still be there and trivia will still, I'll still be putting work in, but it will be my second priority, right? Woo, hello. It'll be my second priority followed by acting.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, the beautiful thing about building your own business is you get to build it in a way that supports your hopes and dreams. And I think that that's one of the things that some people fall short of when they try to create something. They forget that they have the power to make the schedule fit the life that they need. So it's like, you know what? If you need to pull someone else on board so that you know you've got a backup plan, if you all of a sudden need to be gone somewhere when there's a trivia night planned, do it. Just make sure that the thing that you create doesn't distract you from what you really want to do. It looks like Jarrett threw another piece of gold into the conversation saying you need to get your tapes in front of Chris Redding. She's casting all the Melissa McCarthy movies and does a lot of projects in Atlanta. Boom, there you go.
My man.
He's got you. you
Oh, I love this. I keep forgetting this. Hold on. Oh,
gotta do.
hello. Ah, that's for you, Jen.
Oh,
Also, sorry, voice keeps going out. I have been talking all day, and so I've got my little glass of water here, and Squeaky McGee over here.
Yeah, I've been going through like sinus infection after whatever else and getting through coaching every single day. Like there was a day I literally had like 5 hours of just me talking for hours and I was just like, just gonna honey and some hot tea and because I can't coach, I can't positive talk without a voice. It's just not as effective that way.
No, yeah, you're correct. Uh, I would say you're correct. I would. So how are you? How are you? How are you doing?
I am doing well. I've learned that corporate America is not for me. I think I needed this last job to really remind me that my coaching abilities, my passions, do not lie anywhere close to corporate America. I think I lost the vision for a little bit. Life kind of hit me hard, knocked me down, and made me think that I didn't have what it takes. But it took a lot of self reflection as well as signing up for another corporate job that made me realize this isn't for me. For me to realize, hey, don't forget why you started all of this. Positive Talks came about because I wanted to add something beautiful, better, positive into the world when it was a dark place. I think that we can all agree that the world is still a space that needs a lot more light and love and positivity. So I've kind of picked myself back up, learned some lessons along the way of you can't do this alone. You need to ask for help. You need to learn to put yourself on your schedule and give yourself time because I was really putting everyone else everywhere. And then anything that was sliver of my schedule that was left was me time. So when I was working with brands, when I was giving to everyone around me, when I was promoting everyone else's stuff, I wasn't putting myself first in any way, shape, or form. And the burnout was real. The letdown was real. So coming back from that, I've realized, you know what? Like, you are doing amazing things. The reason people are coming to you is because they align with you and what you want the world to look like. And when I realized that, I was like, you know what? I never lost it because what I had was me in the beginning, like, and that can't be taken away from me. So that journey has been long and it felt really rough. There's been days where my body was just like, I'm shutting down. You're not taking care of me anymore. So I'm not going to help you move forward in life. So getting hit with that and making myself realize like, hey, you still got a lot of work to do. You need to be investing in yourself as much as you're investing in everyone else around you, because you can't pour from an empty cup. I learned that the hard way. I think most of us do learn it the hard way.
You know, and it's not even learning the hard way. It's finally starting to care because you know, you've been ever since you were a kid, you've been the same person. You've always been emptying your cup. I mean, you in general, but yes, you as well. You know, you've been emptying your cup for everyone because you're a lover. You know, you're a guy who loves everybody. I'm a guy who loves everybody. And it's always in the back of our head, oh, we're being taken advantage of, or oh, we're putting so much energy into everyone else. I gotta do it for myself. I gotta do it for myself. And then finally, one day, after you've been walked on your whole life, you finally decide, okay, this obviously isn't getting me anywhere. I have to make a change, you know? And that's kind of where it all that's where your life, your future, that ball gets in motion, you know?
Yeah. And it's insane that that's like the lesson you learn, because for me personally, like I didn't realize how many people existed in my life because of what I could give to them. And when I ran out, how quickly certain people were gone until they saw something that I had again that they wanted. But at that time, I had created stronger boundaries that showed my self respect. And it was just like, sorry, don't have time for that. I can give you this if this is what you want, but anything else I'm reserving for myself and the projects I need to work for. And it definitely sent some people packing, but I think that that was a beautiful thing for me because it also showed me who was willing to stick around. I think the current relationship I'm in was the very first relationship I'd been in that I didn't have tons to give right from the beginning. We met at a time where like I was still picking myself back up. And to have someone kind of stick around when I wasn't able to just pour everything I had into the relationship, and they kind of got to see me in a space where like it was hard. There were days where I was just completely like stuck in a black hole and I couldn't see the way out, and I was just in a very negative state of mind. But to have someone stick around and be like, "You got this," but also going through the journey of this person met me in a time where I was in a like slump, and not when I was on the top of my game and seeing so much success that I was just like, I've got this. Oh my God, the stars are so reachable right now. So, like, going through that and kind of helping my boyfriend see the vision that I have for myself is very interesting, because he didn't see where I was before. He got me here, but I have a vision of up here. And it's just like, you know what? I had to revisit, okay, what did I learn on this journey? What did I learn down here where I'm currently growing out of? And how can I utilize that to build the new me that's going to move me towards the goals? And it's a journey for sure, because I mean, I I've been in positions where I could give a lot, and I'm a giver in that way, but I gave myself to the point of falling into a dark hole where I learned the lesson of you're going to have to pick yourself back up, and learning to ask for help. That was a big thing for me because it's not easy. And it's not so much that I don't like getting help and I feel like I'm lesser than for asking for help. It's just I always feel like I ask for help and I give help in return. But being in a place where I needed to ask for help and I had nothing to give in return, that was a new lesson for me to learn that some people will say yes and help and they're not asking for something in return, and that was a space of ego that I had to grow from.
Yeah. Well, good. I mean, I heard a lot of great things in there. So I want you not only to take time to be proud that um, you have someone so lovely. I hope, and I know how you are. I know you appreciate your whole, but like, just like take an extra minute and just like remember that he's so important, but then also be proud of yourself because you got you here. You got you to the point where you allowed yourself to be carried. And like you said, you allowed yourself to ask for help. And that is so big for people like us because we thrive off of pleasing others. We thrive on trying to be the hero in everyone's story. So for the hero to ask for help is one of the hardest things you can do. So truly, when we're off this positive talk tonight, like take a minute and just like remind yourself how proud you are of yourself because you did that. That's important. And I think on that note, I think a lot of people come to positive talks, and when they see the name, they see positive, and they're like, okay, but how are you supposed to be positive all the time? Like you come on here and you're just, let's have a positive talk. But what they don't understand that in order to have a positive talk, you have to also see the negatives, and you have to be able to take those negatives, work through them, accept them, however it may be, and then learn those lessons that those negatives came into your life so that you can be more positive. And being positive isn't necessarily like, Ben, we know each other so well. Are we always positive all the time? No.
What?
like times are rough. I mean, look at the nation, look at like, I mean, shoot, just look at everything going on, look at inflation, like just look around. And it's understanding that that's happening, accepting it, and finding where you stand and what makes you happy and what you can do to take care of yourself and your mental health. That's where the positivity comes in. And I think that's what people really need to grasp from positive talks is you're not positive all the time. You're just learning the coping mechanisms on how to take a negative situation and make it a positive. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think uh in one of the things that like positive talks and all those things have done is like it's put me in front of audiences all over the world, and things have been brought to my attention from all over the world. And when it comes to forming an opinion and coming up with a positive way of viewing it's not easy. I mean, when it comes to the world we live in, everything is so complex. And the one thing that we have the power over is getting to know ourselves better, because that's the only thing where the information is pure and true because it's here. It is not impacted by something that's going on in another country. It's getting to know yourself and taking that time, and that's been a journey for me to understand like how am I going to respond in any situation. I mean, positive talks are live. They're not edited. This is the real me, real time, and kind of navigating through that and understanding like where do I stand in certain situations. I'm allowed to say, I do not want to talk about that. I have no opinion on that. I'm not educated enough to speak on this at the moment. And realizing that in that situation, there are privileges that I've been given because of the things that I've done. There are privileges that we have being citizens of the United States. There are privileges being white, male, lots of different things. And just navigating that in the most positive way possible. And for me, what I want to do with my life is just continue to grow and educate myself while also enlightening people to new perspectives that are different than their own. It's not easy being a coach, I will say.
Sure.
Going into people's heads and hearing how hard life can be for people is very draining to you as a person, because sometimes when they share with you the pain that they're feeling, the darkness that they feel they're in, it sucks you in there with them. I'm an empathetic person. I meet people where they're at. So when I see all the hatred in the world, when I see everything that's going on, I feel it, and I have to overcome that and realize I need to fill my cup. I need to put myself in the best mental state I can to exist and do positive talks, to do coaching, to do anything where I'm promoting anything of my brand or message that I'm trying to create. So there's definitely a lot of work, whether it's making sure I get enough sleep, whether it's making sure I'm educating myself enough before I speak on any topic, whether it's making sure that I've got the right connections and the right understanding of where people are and what they're trying to tell me. It's a journey, and no one's perfect. And it's okay. It's okay to make a mistake, but holding yourself accountable and allowing the people that love and care about you hold you accountable, like, it's important. And I've learned sharing my dreams with people. There are some that you shouldn't share with, and there are others who will hear it and push you towards it as much as they can. Uh, One thing I've learned in my relationship is he's not a life coach. I can't expect him to be. He plays a different role in my life. He plays the role of boyfriend, and that comes with its own requirements that he has stepped up to the plate to be. So it's just like realizing that I play certain roles in some people's lives. I'm a life coach to some, I'm family to others, I'm friends to others. It's just like realizing that we all play different roles, and not holding people to impossible standards is really important.
That is, that's the big thing that you just said, not holding people to impossible standards. Because I think also you have to be able to adjust, because being an empath, like you were saying, you have to, like, you're able to feel other people's emotions and feel other people's, like, see their perspectives and things like that. And if you do have these outrageous expectations, you have to be able to, you can't say, I'm stuck in my ways, I've been here for 37 years. No, you have to be open to learning and adjusting so that you can better serve the people around you and better serve yourself, you know?
Yeah. That's a mental health journey, kind of like you were talking about, like with your acting and everything. Like, you have to know yourself, and because we can't expect anyone else around us to cater to the way we have to navigate life to get to where we need to get, because we're all on that journey of discovering what works best for us. And that means that if you have to tell someone, hey, I can't be held accountable here because it's just too much on my plate,
Right.
um, you just have to say it. And I think most of us are afraid of the labels that may be put on us if we say that out loud. Like, I can't do this. It's too much. We're afraid, like, oh gosh, this person's going to remove us as a friend. They're going to think that we're not good. They're going to say we'll never get to this. And it's just like that fear of what we may be labeled puts us in a position where we destroy ourselves internally, and then we're like, well, who got us here?
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. And that's, I mean, on that note, as far as got us here, you know, like I was saying earlier, just like I was saying about, you have to, in order to be positive, you have to recognize the negative. There are people who will help you, and there are people who will try to tear you down. And the hardest thing for a people pleaser like myself, and, you know, like you,
What?
whoa, the hardest thing to do is recognize when that's happening and how to step away from it. And that was one of the biggest things I had to overcome with trivia. I had a really, really rough experience with an old boss that I like, who I started trivia through, and I had to realize that it was like there was a tentacle coming from this person, and like sucking my energy out and my, my hard work and my creativity, and they were keeping it, and then they were mistreating me because they felt, and I don't understand why. To this day, I don't understand why. If you ever want a tea time, we'll have a tea time. It was very much they were threatened by my entertaining personality, and because of that they were just like trying to tear me down, and it was the person that I was hosting trivia for, which was crazy because I'm like, my trivia is bringing in new business, and but it was more about the ego than the business at that point, and I had to sever, like I had to cut off the tentacle, because not only was it holding me back, but like me back my through my business, but also holding me back through like my health. Like it was genuinely sucking every good thing I had. But because of that, I learned that was like a little extra lesson reminder of my worth and how hard I work and what I do deserve. So, like I said, just like there's people who will help you, there's people who will not, and you just need to keep an eye out and be able to stand up for yourself when you need to.
Yeah, because there are people who will see you as a very important piece of the puzzle to their success, and people who appreciate you and the piece that you hold to their success will also ask, how can I in return grant you something that I can give you to help you towards your success? And the easiest way to figure that out, if someone's got that relationship, is, are they curious about where you want to go? Uh, or are they only talking to you about the way that you will fulfill your role in their life? And when you grow up not having that, when you don't ever have people who ask you, where do you want to be, how can I help you, it's normal for you to never be asked that. I remember how shocked I was when someone first reached out to me and they're like, how can I help you? And I was like, I don't know. I've never been asked that question before, so I've never thought of how someone else could help me. I was just like, well, I guess I'll have to get back to you on that, because I've always built from me doing it all and also helping other people, and kind of when the time came, like beg, hey, can you please just share my post? Like, can you just share that I'm trying to bring people together for this?
Right.
And when you get in return, like, well, that's a lot, that's a big ask.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa, I've literally dedicated hours and hours of time into helping you create your goal. Why is this simple thing that I'm asking so hard? And that's one of the things I realized with Positive Talks, that I've brought on some really amazing people, and I'm lucky to have so many amazing people, because most people that I've brought onto these see the value in this and know that anything else that I'm putting my hands on to create will hold like value to Positive Talks.
Amen.
Most people are like, hey, like, I may be working on this project now, but I've got some free time here. Would that work? Most people are willing to help. So I'm like, you know what? I've built a very beautiful space. I need to realize that and stop trying to pull from resources that were only wanting to take from me and not willing to return the favor in the future.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the biggest thing. Like to everyone listening, if you have a friend that you want to help, I will tell you, and I have no problem calling this man out. Michael, Michael John Peterson is the most loyal, kind, loving, um, just most wonderful supporter that I think any human can have. And the reason I say that is because he will share the posts, he will comment enthusiastically, he will show up when he needs to. And like, it just goes to show you do not have to pay $1 to support somebody's dream. You do not have to pay $1 to show someone that you support them. Share their stuff. It's free. Show up to their lives. It's free. Show up at their trivia, for my example. It's free. Show up to your space, your positive space. It's free. Show up and then, or share. If you are one of those people that say, I support small businesses. I love supporting small businesses. Then do it. You don't have to buy something, but share something. Show your friends, tag your friends, bring them in. And Michael John Peterson is that person. Amen.
Yeah, I definitely feel like he deserves an award for the most positive talks shown live. I think that he's only missed like a handful. Probably can still count on one hand how many positive talks he's missed the live. So, and I've
Yeah.
hosted these things at like 9 in the morning for me, which that means like way earlier for him over on the West Coast. But I think that he is a beautiful example of someone who knows how to support someone when it comes to their passions. And I think it's really important as well. He's also a people pleaser. I think he
Yeah.
can learn from our lessons we've gone through as well,
Yeah.
because I think that we all, as people pleasers, need to learn like it's okay to ask for things when we need it as well. Um, and I mean, just I think a really important lesson is don't make people ask for help. Like if they are your friend, if you care about them, like reach out as well and just ask. Like, how can I help you? Like, I haven't talked to you in a while. Let's catch up. Like, how can I support you? Because too often it's usually when we need someone that we reach out. And I think that that's not always the best time, because if you haven't talked to people in a while, you don't know if they're struggling. There have been plenty of times where people are like, "Hey, I need your help," and I'm like, "Would have been nice if you said how are you, because I'm struggling today and
Yeah.
not don't have energy to give, and I don't want to come off rude, but I can't today." Um, but yeah, I think try to build relationships in your life where you just reach out. I know that my coach that I'm working with now for my marketing, I really just reached out to her and I was like, "Hey, how are you doing today?" Because I was genuinely curious. And then it turned into a conversation where now she's my coach and I'm working with her to grow something I love. And it's just important to realize that sometimes that's what we need.
It is. It is just a little ear, a little shoulder. Yeah.
It doesn't have to be on Positive Talk. you don't have to you don't have to host a Positive Talk to do it. It's just important to ask. And I know that you and I have both gone through our journeys and we've put space between us and then we come right back. And I just know that you're one of those people that in life I know that no matter what gets thrown on your plate, you're a friend.
Yeah,
And
absolutely. Absolutely. Sorry, I'm gonna interrupt. I'm gonna interrupt.
stop.
Know. Everyone needs to know. Ben and I, we don't talk that much. But at the end of the day, I know that if something happened tomorrow, if I were to reach out to Ben, I would have a couch to sleep on. And same thing, he knows that if something happened tomorrow and he needed a place to crash, I'm right there. Like, and that's how you want to be for your friends. You know, you want to be, even if you don't talk every day, even if you get distracted because life is life, just remember, like, make sure your friends know that like you're there for them and you love them. And I love you, Ben. I love you.
I love you too, Jennifer. And we've even got a guest bedroom here. You won't even have to sleep on the couch. We've got a super comfy bed. Cooper usually claims it, but when good friends come over, he's willing to give up his bed.
Well, and here I come.
I can't say that there's a huge acting scene here in Richmond, Virginia, but
I got you.
there's
I
lots of people that love trivia, so that can work here. And I mean, we'll just have Jared film his movie here in Richmond, and it'll work out perfectly. See, we're making things work.
one step at a time, you know? I can't even say listen.
Oh, poor Jordan Sparks. She needs her tea.
That's exactly what it is. Oh, speaking of, Taylor Swift's birthday's tomorrow.
It is, and she's
So that
supposed to be announcing something, right? I think
was
her tour
released.
is going on DVD.
Yes, yeah. So we're actually having a watch party tomorrow evening. That's what we're doing.
Perfect.
Happy.
I did not get to see it in theater. I didn't get to see her in concert. But I've been following her phenomenal journey of breaking all the records in the world, of becoming literally the number one person of the universe. So she's killing it for sure.
Good for her. Keep it up.
Yeah. And I mean, that's another beautiful thing that I don't think a lot of people appreciate, is just like celebrating success. I've seen so many people tearing her down because they don't think that she deserves all these things, but she's working her ass off. Like I'm just like
Ben, don't get started right now because it's already 8 o'clock and I can talk about Taylor for an hour. Telling you.
Uh, we're
The
gonna have to have a Swifty talk afterwards, and
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. We're gonna have a tea time. That's what we need. We have positive talk, and then we have the dark side. We'll call it tea time. Show up. We'll have
I
all-
love it.
and we're gonna be like, "Here's what happened today."
Oh yes, I think it's great, and I'm gonna have to send you what I got Kevin for Christmas, because I think you'll love it.
Most likely.
Awesome. Well, it's at the hour, so we can wrap this up. But thank you so much for coming on. I cannot believe that we're almost at episode 300. It's so crazy. Definitely, since this was like something you and I started, and I thought this will be fun to do through the pandemic, through the election, and then I thought it was just kind of fade away. But it became something that I'm extremely proud of. I honestly still believe that this is like the best part of any of my days where positive talks get to exist. And I mean, I appreciate you taking the risk with me, doing it for the first time, struggling through figuring out how a live on Instagram worked, and allowing it to grow the way that it has. And I mean, you've been in several episodes, as well as being a supporter on the outside. I just, it's
Oh,
become
you're my-
something beautiful.
Yeah, where you've got a friend in me. You know, so listen, like Ben, I would follow you with whatever you start. I will be there, you know? I will be there. So as long as my cup is full, I will always overflow into your cup. Always. So
Same goes for
thank
you.
you for allowing me to be here and just spread light with you because it's really important.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. You've got beautiful light behind you as well. And I'm looking forward to seeing how 2024 turns out for both of us, because I think you've got a beautiful vision and dream. And I think the connections you're going to make in Atlanta are going to take you exactly where you need to go.
All the same to you, my friend. All the same to you. But all right. Well, I love you. You have a wonderful night. And we're going to be doing this again soon. I'm very serious about time. Want to make it.
Yes, sounds good to me.
All right. I'll talk to
Awesome.
you then.
Sounds good. Bye.
Bye.